Hello and welcome. This is Mouse Gunner, and we're going to have another playthrough of Medieval Engineers. And this time we're going to be focusing on some of the mechanical devices that you can build in the game. And I have a pretty simple mechanical device here that I'll be demonstrating a little bit later. We'll just talk about some of the blocks that you have access to and some of the things you can do. So first off, one of the things that I've done here with this mechanical device is the first step of that is a cart. So as you can see there, I have the what was used to make this card here is essentially I copied and pasted this I built my prototype and then I copied and pasted to use to make that card. So essentially what I did is I made a few posts as my supports, and then I built my basic cart. And all this is, if we look in our little block inventory, we have beams or timbers, and we have these catch blocks and then wheels. So essentially all you do to build a cart is you just take your posts, and you can, using the mouse wheel, make them longer. So I made them as long as they could be, just like that, and use your rotation keys to get them in the correct orientation. And you can also flip them and change the orientation however you need. But essentially you just lay down the posts until you have a basic frame. Then you put a smaller post after you've placed the catch blocks, I believe that was what they're called. In the corners, you put a small post so you can stick a wheel on. If you don't do that, the wheels will not turn right. So essentially, you have everything you need for a basic cart. Now you could attach a timber in between these two points to connect them, but it's not really necessary from what I've seen. But you could do that if you wanted to make a proper axle. But in any case, that's the beginning parts of a cart. Now, the other part I'd like to talk about is some of the more complex mechanical devices you can use. So let's get ourselves a little block to lay down on and get our posts out. Let's make these posts not so quite tall, and flip them. And essentially I'm just going to build a pulley. And what number do I have the catch block? 5. And you can orient this however you want. Oop, don't want it over there. There we go. And now all you're going to do is you're going to put a couple posts just to which is my spool. I don't think I have the spool out. So let's go ahead and grab a spool. So as you can see, the spool isn't big enough to fill that space, so we're going to just use a small post to fill the gap. Of course, we have to orient it the correct way. Oh, where did that go? Who knows? There we go. And that's probably a little too long, I'm going to guess. What key was that? Yeah, I'm going to guess that's a little too long. We probably only need a single post. So let's do that real quick here. So we just need to make it one shorter and one here, and then we can put our spool. And now they're connected together. And now to turn it, all you need is one of these. And now you can turn it. So all you have to do is go up to the crank and just press T, and you can turn your spool. Now, depending on which way you have angled the crank, it will turn in a particular direction. So if you want to get it to turn in a different direction, all you have to do is, let's see if we can get this on here, is just flip it the other way, and now it will turn the opposite direction. So now, if I press T, it should turn in the opposite direction as the other crank, I believe, if I did that correctly. So this, yeah, see, they turn in opposite directions of each other. And that's pretty much how you do the crank. Now, what can you do with this? Well, obviously you can do a number of things, because whatever you can attach a rope to, you can pull with this spool. So just really simple something. We can just grab another post, and we need one of these, a rope ending. And if we just stick this here, We need that. Okay. Now all we have to do is press T on that, and then T on the spool, and they will be connected by a rope. So now when we rotate this, I believe it was this direction is the correct. Helps if we don't. Sometimes, you know, this being alpha, it's a little glitchy. Okay, that's not doing what we want it to. I hope that post didn't connect to the ground. It appears it did. I was trying to get it to be freeform. Probably what I need to do here, I'll just hit T and that will disconnect it, is just delete it and hit J instead, and then we can... Alright, come on, do what I wanted you to do. I don't want to drop you from that distance. Ah, he's not doing what I wanted to do. Fine, I'll put it over there. Who cares? Okay. And we want one of these. We don't want J anymore. Okay, so this is protracted explanation of what I wanted to do, but now that we don't have this thing fixed, we should be able to pull it nicely. Okay. Hopefully where it is doesn't cause us problems. Okay, now let's pull it. There we go. We just had to figure out the correct direction. And now as we pull it, it pulls in. That's pretty much a very simple machine. So you could use this to, you know, pull supplies or whatever. Very simple machine. Once we figured out how to do everything. And as you can see, I mean, there's a lot you can do in this world. Now, let's see another particular device. Now, this uses another block, the rope torsion spring, and it is pretty much as it sounds. It's a to demonstrate it very simply, we connect the spool up, and you always want to orient this so it's in the post that's part of the torsion spring is facing the direction you want it to swing to. So if, you could also use this to make a catapult, obviously, would be the obvious thing you'd do. And if you want it to throw the rock in that direction, you put it so that the post is facing that direction. Because if you do it the other way around, it doesn't go back any further. So you want it to be able to go back so it will spring forward. So anyway, we're just going to go ahead and press T on this, wind it up, and as you can see, it's getting pulled back. And then all we have to do to release it is press either on the spool itself or the back of the post, and as we can see, it flings forward. If that was if I had put a catapult cup on here and put a rock in the cup, that's essentially how we'd get a catapult to work. But this is actually a different device altogether. This is meant to be, let's get down on the ground here, and let's try not to smash it into the castle because I still want you to see how the device works. Okay, so this is mostly just a very simple battering ram. So if we do this and crank it. Now obviously you can do a lot more complex machines with this than what I'm doing here. As a matter of fact, I wanted to put brakes on this, but I wasn't able to figure out a simple way to do that. That might be something I experiment with later. Because as you saw there, one of the main problems with this is when it springs forward, it kind of does this like jump, hop, skip thing, and then kind of rolls a little bit. Not exactly the best for a battering ram, but you'll see here in a second that really doesn't matter. As I cut the rope, and we have a little bit of lag as it does destruction, it pretty much completely destroys the front end of the cart or the battering ram. But as you can see, it smashes through the wall quite effectively. And you know, pretty much that device, it was just a very simple, you know, couple of timbers put onto a torsion spring with a couple of these weight blocks in the front. I don't know if that really has much of an effect or if it would have done pretty much the exact same thing, just being a normal wooden post. But as you can see, a very effective battering ram, and it wasn't all that complex of a device to make. In any case, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. This is Mouse Gunner, signing out.